Did you know the most powerful man in the ancient world literally lived like a wild animal for 7 years? Nebuchadnezzar II ruled the mighty Babylonian Empire at its absolute peak. He built the legendary Hanging Gardens, conquered Jerusalem, and controlled trade routes worth billions in today's money. His palace walls were covered in gold. His armies were unstoppable. But then the strange dreams began. Vivid nightmares that left him shaking and paranoid. He started seeing enemies everywhere, trusting no one, not even his closest advisors. His behavior became increasingly erratic until one day he completely snapped. The King of Kings crawled out of his palace on all fours and began eating grass like cattle. His hair grew wild and matted. His nails became like claws. For 7 long years, the ruler of the civilized world lived as a beast in the wilderness. When he finally recovered, his empire had crumbled from within. The Persians swept in and conquered Babylon without a fight. Madness had destroyed the greatest empire on earth. Did you know the most powerful ruler in the Americas was killed by his own people? In 1519, Moctezuma II controlled 15 million subjects and vast gold reserves that would make modern billionaires jealous. He ruled the mighty Aztec Empire from his floating capital of Tenochtitlan. But when Spanish ships appeared on his shores, he made a fatal mistake. He welcomed Cortés as a returning god, opening his palace doors to just 400 conquistadors. Within weeks, these strangers had taken him prisoner in his own throne room. As his people rose in rebellion against the Spanish, Moctezuma desperately tried to calm them. He climbed onto his palace roof to speak for his captors, but his subjects saw this as the ultimate betrayal. They hurled stones at their once mighty emperor until he collapsed. The man who commanded millions died at the hands of his own people. Within 2 years, Tenochtitlan lay in ruins and the Aztec Empire was gone forever. One decision destroyed a civilization. Did you know the largest ransom in human history was paid with an entire room full of gold, and the captive was still executed? In 1532, Spanish conquistadors captured Atahualpa, the last Inca emperor. Desperate for freedom, he made an impossible offer. He would fill 1 room with gold and 2 more with silver to buy his release. The room measured 17 feet by 22 feet, and he had to fill it as high as he could reach with his raised hand. The Incas delivered. They melted down centuries of sacred artifacts and treasures. 13,420 pounds of gold and 26,000 pounds of silver, worth over $200 million today. It was the greatest treasure ever assembled in one place, but the Spanish had no intention of keeping their promise. Despite receiving this unimaginable wealth, they executed Atahualpa anyway. This massive fortune funded Spain's European wars for decades and shifted global economics forever. The betrayal that changed the world's balance of power. Did you know one man's religious pilgrimage single-handedly crashed the economy of the entire Middle East? In 1324, Mansa Musa, ruler of the Mali Empire, set out for Mecca on what would become history's most expensive journey. His caravan included 60,000 people and 80 camels, each carrying 300 pounds of pure gold. But here's where it gets crazy. As he traveled through Cairo and Medina, Musa gave away so much gold that he flooded the market completely. The price of gold crashed by 25% almost overnight. For over a decade, the entire Middle Eastern economy remained destabilized. Merchants went bankrupt, trade routes collapsed, and currencies became worthless. All because one man was being generous during his pilgrimage. The economic chaos spread across multiple continents, affecting trade from Europe to Asia. This wasn't just wealth, this was power on an unimaginable scale. Mansa Musa remains the richest individual in documented history. One pilgrimage changed the world forever. What if Howard Carter never discovered Tutankhamun's intact tomb in 1922? The Valley of the Kings would still hide its greatest treasure, sealed for over 3,000 years. We'd never know how pharaohs were truly buried with their golden masks, jeweled daggers, and chariots. Ancient Egyptian burial practices would remain a mystery, based only on robbed tombs and fragments. Egypt's tourism industry would look completely different today. No golden death mask drawing millions of visitors to Cairo's museum. The British Museum, the Met, museums worldwide would lack their most famous Egyptian artifacts. Pop culture would never have created the mummy's curse phenomenon. No Hollywood movies about ancient curses killing archaeologists. But here's the surprising part. Without Tutankhamun's global fame, Botiem, Bofeb, archaeological funding would have dried up decades ago. Public interest in Egyptology would have faded by the 1950s. Countless other discoveries might never have happened. One tomb's discovery sparked a century of exploration. Here are 5 things you didn't know about Emperor Diocletian's shocking transformation of Rome. First, he literally split the entire Roman Empire into 4 pieces and appointed 3 co-emperors to help him rule. This system, called the Tetrarchy, turned one massive empire into 4 separate kingdoms, each with its own ruler. Second, his price control edicts backfired completely, creating massive black markets across the empire. He tried to fix inflation by setting maximum prices for everything from bread to shoes, but merchants just went underground. Third, he launched the most brutal persecution of Christians in Roman history, ordering mass executions and burning of churches. Fourth, he established the first government-controlled economy, with the state directly managing production and distribution of goods. But here's the most mind-blowing fact of all. Diocletian became the only Roman emperor in history to voluntarily retire from power. While his empire descended into civil war, he chose to grow cabbages on his farm in Croatia. When asked to return, he reportedly said his vegetables were more beautiful than ruling an empire.